The following video is intended to aid with the proper and safe operation of the Ridgid 1224 threading machine. Before the operator begins threading, the level of the machine should be checked. Keeping the end of the machine with the cutter, threader and reamer implements lower than the opposite end will ensure that the excess oil does not run through the machine and make a mess in the tray where the foot pedal is stored when not in use. In addition to checking the level of the machine, the operator should thoroughly inspect the jaws that clamp onto the pipe. Failure to do so could result in the jaws slipping on the pipe instead of grabbing it correctly, which will clog them up more and cause failure to the threading operation. They can be cleaned in place or, as demonstrated in this video, removed for a more thorough cleaning. Using a flathead screwdriver, simply turn the jaw 90 degrees and the spring underneath will lift it up out of place. If doing this with the jaw upside down, be careful as to not misplace the jaw when it falls. Now that the machine has been leveled and the teeth are clean, you can begin the threading process. Start by inserting the pipe into the machine, then turn the chuck wheel until it is tight on the pipe and hammer it down. Step on the pedal to spin the pipe and ensure that it is spinning true. If it is not chucked correctly, it will have a noticeable wobble and should be corrected before continuing to the next steps. Now that the pipe is in place, you can mark the pipe where you would like to make a cut. To make an accurate cut, it is helpful to have a line that goes all the way around the pipe. This can be accomplished easily by carefully holding your marker against the pipe on your original cut line and spinning the pipe at the slower speed. The operator can then increase the speed of the machine to make the cut. It is important to note that the speed of the machine should only be changed when it is not in operation. Attempting to change speeds during operation will cause the gears to grind. When cutting the pipe, the operator should apply consistent pressure to the handle. About 1/4 of a turn of the handle for every full rotation of the pipe is sufficient. Next, place the reamer into position. It will rest in a designated notch in the sliding carriage. Apply gentle pressure to the handle until you have removed the burr from inside the pipe. After the pipe has been reamed, lower the threader die head into its position. Decrease the speed of the motor when threading 3-inch or larger pipe. Engage the cutting dies by placing your hands underneath the orange knob and on top of the die head. Squeeze your hands together to properly engage the threading dies. This operation is demonstrated clearly here. The black arm will be pushed out of the way when the sliding carriage is brought closer to the pipe. This causes the thread cutters to slowly open inside the die head as it moves along the tapered sine bar. This action is what gives the perfect taper to the threads. When starting to cut a thread, you need to apply enough force until the teeth of the dies engage the pipe. Once the teeth engage the pipe, you will hear the tone of the motor strain just slightly. At that point, you can then let go of the handle as the die head continues toward the end of the sine bar. You can change the position of the handle to help with leverage if it is in an uncomfortable position. Simply pull it out and rotate it to the position you want it in. Once the die head approaches the end of the sine bar, it will completely disengage the cutting teeth. This allows for the same length of threads every time, making measuring piping runs and installation of fittings much more consistent. The tray of the machine should be cleaned before there is an excessive buildup of thread shavings. This will need to be done more frequently if larger pipe sizes are being used because of the increase in shavings produced. A more thorough cleaning can be accomplished by removing the primary and secondary filtering screens. Many of the items required for operation are stored underneath the machine in the toolbox. This includes markers, pens, and pencils, a tape measure, a 3/4 inch wrench, a dentist tool, and a flathead screwdriver. 6 cans of brake cleaner, absorbent pads, latex gloves, die heads for different pipe sizes, extra cutting wheels, and extra dies. Here are some key points to be aware of and remember when using this machine. The shortest nipple that can be made when threading 3-inch or 4-inch pipe is 8 inches long. And the shortest nipple that can be made when threading 1.5 or 2-inch pipe is 5.5 inches long. If the machine can't change gears, step on the pedal briefly and then try changing gears again. When cutting or reaming, the machine can be in high speed regardless of the size of pipe being used. The machine only needs to be in low speed when threading 3-inch or 4-inch pipe. When threading 3 or 4-inch pipe, the very minimum amount of pipe that should stick out from the face of the chuck plate is 5 inches. Any less and it will result in injury to the operator and/or damage to the machine. Notice in this picture, when threading was complete, the sliding carriage was only 1/2 inch away from colliding into the machine. If this happens, damage will likely occur. Pay close attention to this detail.